Y'all, quick video. So, something I want to talk about is the Pels roster. Um, as you guys have known, if you followed me any length of time, I've constantly harked on the imbalance of the Pels roster. You got 15 roster spots. You should have 3 slots for each position. The Pels do not have that. Like, I'm going to go through, they got 9 total guard position players. And I'm going to list them real quick. And then the other 5 or 6 are forward-esque. So, well, that's kind of changed now too because they got Drew. So they probably, yeah. Well, they had Drew. But they got Lonzo, Hill, Bledsoe, Frank Jackson, Josh Hart, 6, J.J. Redick, Kenrich Williams. I think I mentioned Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but just in case, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And I feel like I'm still missing somebody. I'm going to go back and do it. So they got Lonzo, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Frank Jackson, Hill, Bledsoe, Josh Hart, J.J. Redick, Kenrich Williamson, and each one more. So it's like 8 to 9 guards. Way too many. 2 more than what you really need. Not to mention what you're about to draft, possibly. And a lot of it is repetitive. But then the only small forward on your roster is Brandon Ingram, even though you play Kenrich and Josh Hart there from time to time, sometimes JJ. But the only actual true small forward is B.I. You got Zion and Melly at power forward. And in the center, you got Jaleel, Favors, and Hayes. So, the Pels roster, it's like you got more versatility at guard. You got way too many players at guard than you're actually going to need to play. And you don't have it at small forward, so you have to use your guards at small forward. And I get it that some of them can play there to some extent, like Josh Hart. But Josh Hart is only 6'5". You need some 6'8", 6'9" guys to guard those positions. You need taller, stronger guys there. Actual wing players. Players people who played those positions their whole life and understand it. You need that. Power forward, all you got is Zion and Melly. Both can't play defense right now. So who's going to defend power forwards? Especially one that can get their buckets on their own. They can ISO you and hit shots. Even though Zion is a good passer, you don't have an elite passer out of that position. I wouldn't call Zion an elite rebounder, nor is Melly by any stretch of the imagination. Melly can shoot, whereas Zion is a monster on the interior, but none of them are really mid-range players. There's a lot to be desired there. So you can kind of get a feel of what they need to be going for in that slot. B.I. is all offense, small forward, but, he doesn't have the defense right now. His passing is good as passable. He's a pretty solid rebounder. For his size, though, he could get a lot better, in my opinion. And obviously it's the defensive issues, but, you just need another body there, period, really. But, it's so much to be desired there. And then you have Favors, Jackson Hayes, and Jaleel Okafor. None of them can stretch the floor. None of them are, say, elite or solid passers. Jackson Hayes and Favors are very good defensively. Favors more so because he understands positioning and he uses his IQ. Jackson Hayes is just athletic as all fuck. And he'll just leap and jump at you and make your life difficult. But as far as, the position is, there's no versatility there. There's no stretches. at least with let's say the Lakers, AD could play between the power forward and the five, and whatever's lacking, he can facilitate. Okay, so we don't have any outside. We don't have a stretch five. He can fill stretch five. We need a power forward who can hit mid range. He can do that. At least he's there. He has the versatility. So they can afford to have JaVale McGee and Dwight and a Morris to sit there power forward, or they can switch LeBron over. They have players who have so much size and versatility, they can play legitimately multiple positions. The Pels don't have that. The Pels really just have they have players who can play certain positions situationally. Like Lonzo can play shooting guard or small forward in the sense that he has the size to defend those positions. Can he play those as the primary, the entire game? I mean, he's talented enough he could. If you told him, hey, just get open and shoot threes, I'm sure he could do that at the two guard, or even at small forward. Hell, he's guarded small forwards and had Drew was taking whoever the best perimeter player is, and they put JJ or whoever on whoever the worst guard was, or Josh Hart. But they use Lonzo. That's like, hey, since you're 6'6", go ahead and guard the small forward since you're like right there at their height, or at their size. And, it makes sense. But he also loses that advantage of having the size over, his actual position. But, there's just not a lot of versatility where you can plug and play and switch players around and get different, advantages. So the Pels roster is going to have to get reconstructed. If it were up to me, I keep Hart, Walker, Lonzo, Hill, and JJ. Everybody else is gone. Why do I keep those five? Lonzo's the best passer. George Hill, he's vet. He can run the show. Good leader. He'd be your backup. Nickeil Alexander-Walker would be your flex guard, is what I would call him. He could play point guard or he could play shooting guard as need be. So it depends on the lineup where you need him. He's what you guys would call a combo guard, but I'm going to use the term flex because he can flex to either position. So I would keep him because he's versatile in that. He has the skill sets, a little bit of both, even though I don't think he does either one super effectively. Josh Hart is a clear two. He can guard some threes. You don't want him there all game. And he's the better all-around guard, shooting guard over JJ. JJ is just a marksman. That's his job. That's what he's going to do. That's what you want him to do. You need him to space the floor. That's why I would keep them. And if there was an injury at any position, you just slide Nickeil Alexander-Walker there. So hypothetically, Lonzo gets hurt. You could put George Hill as the starter, and Nickeil will be your backup point guard. And Josh Hart and JJ would still continue to do their thing. Or if JJ got hurt, you would slide Nickeil Alexander-Walker there. You just play Nickeil and Josh Hart. You see what I'm saying? And now you can get those spots that you weren't using like that, and you could just go get you some forwards. Get you some players that are like a Robert Covington. Obviously, he's now on Portland, so he's not available. But go get you a player who can defend, several positions and can space the floor. If you want to play big, you might run Lonzo as point, shooting guard as BI. You might put Covington at the 3 and Zion at the 3, Covington at the 4 or 5 or something. You have a little bit of more versatility there, but they need to get some wings. And we can't be undersized at forward. If you go look, Derek Favors is listed as a power forward center. His first position is power forward. Okay? Whenever we're matched up with teams that have size, Milwaukee, he struggles. If we're going to go play Derek Favors, I want to get some 6'10", 6'9" help at forward. I want I don't want to be, here's the thing, you can't be oversized at the guard and undersized at forward center. It doesn't make much sense. It kind of defeats the purpose. You already got Zion out there at 6'6". He's undersized anyway. But now you got Favors, who's 6'10", 6'11", dealing with 7'1", 7'2". You know, you got Zion dealing with 6'9", 10, 11. And BI is 6'9", so he's right there with the small forwards. Lonzo is bigger than pretty much every guard with the exception of like Ben Simmons. Josh Hart is 6'5", he's right around, that shooting guard range. Like you got a lot of size in the backcourt, but your front court is lacking, and that's where you're going to get control of the game is through the rebounds. So the Pels need to shift a lot of that extra weight at guard into some valuable and versatile forwards that they can pick and play and put in different positions. Now, if it was up to me, I would take the draft that's tonight, and I would be looking for a senior, a 4-year player, someone who played college 4 years, a senior, at power forward and shooting guard. I mean, not shooting guard, small forward, who can have versatile skill sets and that can shoot and play defense. I would be spending my picks on that. If I needed to trade, because I think they said they got 4 picks this draft, 3 in the first round, I really would try to move up. I would try to get my picks. I would try to get another pick in top 20. If I had to give up my second and my other two first rounders and maybe like another player, Jahlil Okafor or something, to get like into 17, 18, somewhere and get another forward, that's what I would do. That's how I would resolve that issue. Matter of fact, forget Jahlil Okafor. Yeah, okay, I'll tell you what, we'll do Jahlil because Jahlil I think has value. I cut Frank Jackson. I cut E'Twaun Moore. If we got to eat their salary, we got to eat their salary. Fuck it. But I'm signing those other two guards, those other two forwards, they come off the bench. And because they were taken late, you don't have to pay them much, and they can still contribute immediately because they'll have enough experience playing the game, and they should be able to follow the playbook and understand what they're supposed to do. And Lonzo and the rest of them guys can get them right. So they can play immediately, and then you don't have to worry about all the rest. Now you got a little bit more versatility, and granted, they're young as far as NBA experience is concerned, but the team wasn't going to project to go far anyway. But they're better than they were last year because now they have strengths in places where they didn't have it last year. So when you're playing a team like Dallas that has 3 or 4 people that's 6'10" and above in a lineup, or Denver like that, or the Bucks or the Lakers, now you could throw some guys out there. And granted, they're not going to stop LeBron and AD, but it's much harder for LeBron and AD to work. They got to put forth more energy than if they got E'Twaun Moore or Drew Holiday guarding them, because these guys are bigger and they're stronger and they're longer. And so now they have to exert more effort through the overall game, which can help you in the late game. You can leave these guys in the game a little bit longer. E'Twaun Moore started getting posted up by LeBron James, it's over, or AD, it's over. And you can't just put BI and Zion constantly. You're going to wear them down. They're not going to have anything for the late game. But if you got someone out there who's like 6'10", and who's got like a 7-foot wingspan or some shit, and you can have him guard LeBron and make LeBron work, you just did yourself a favor. And you can rest BI, and you can rest Zion, and they don't have to take the brunt of the damage themselves, and you can conserve them. And then you got someone like George Hill who's a vet, who can say, okay, let me put you guys in these positions to help you win on offense. And that's how you work the team. That's how you work the roster. So the Pels have to get rid of these guards. If they got to just cut them, trade them, whatever they got to do. But they got to get deeper in their front court because they just don't have it. You know, you have Melly out there playing small ball center and Zion with BI, and it's just like you may play small ball, but they can't guard a lick. They can't guard shit. And so it don't do you any good. Yes, offensively, you're going to be wonderful because Melly and Zion basically played the different positions on offense and defense. On defense, Melly is a 5, but he's really more like the stretch 4 on offense. Zion is more like, the 4, but he's more like the 4 on defense, but he's the 5 on offense. And then B.I. can space, and then you got Lonzo there, whoever your other guard is, And so now, you can take advantage of that offensively, but defensively you can't. And I know Stan Van Gundy is going to address those issues, but until that stuff is there, you still want to have guys that automatically or know how to play really good defense or have other skills that they can take advantage of. Because right now, for instance, when J.J. Redick isn't hitting, he's a waste of a roster slot. Sorry. If Josh Hart isn't hitting, he can play defense. He can attack the basket for damn sure. He can get rebounds. So you see, having that versatility works. When Lonzo's shot's not working, he's still a brilliant passer, especially in the open court. He can go get rebounds. He can play defense. He's still a phenomenal leader, and he can position players in the proper place. It's stuff like that. Your players have to have versatility. I'm a person who wants my players to have versatility. You may be like, oh, just have someone like Kyle Korver who can sit there and knock down threes at an elite level. If Korver can knock him down at 47% from 3, I'll take a 41% three-point shooter that can play elite defense. That extra 6% don't matter to me. I want the defense. Yes, knock down your shots, but take away their shots too. That matters more than, in every 10 shots, he's going to make 5. Guaranteed. I'll take every 10 shots, he makes 4, but he takes away 4 from them. But that's my take. Y'all have a good day. I'm going into work. Peace.